So as it's Friday, I think we should finish the week off with some justice and injustice. Seems only right. I mean, it's been a while since I wore this. Like, maybe a week. That's a while, really, isn't it? Before we do that, though, tonight, in a change from the regular streaming schedule, I will be streaming on the Cthulhu-Kin and Friends show at 9:30pm GMT. It is a political recap stream with TrupsLP. Link to that stream and Trups' channel down below. Now, the first story we're going to cover means revisiting a tale I've already told, but it involves a girl called Gemma Beale. Gemma Beale, this is Gemma Beale here, is a lesbian. I know, hard to believe. Gemma Beale, well, she made some mistakes. She fabricated some stories, and in doing so, cost some people their livelihoods, for reasons we do not understand to this day. Some of the worst included a man serving 2 years in prison for a false rape allegation before it was overturned because of insufficient evidence. Oh, and the fact that, she lied. Another man that she accused fled all the way to Pakistan to get away from her. I covered this in a video last year, I believe, because it took a while for all the information to come out. I will link that video below. Quite a number of her tales were quite elaborate, to the point where the police started to believe she was a crying wolf for the attention, which then led to the police arresting her, charging her, and placing her in front of a court for perverting the course of justice, because she did. And then she, after a trial, was sentenced to 10 years in prison for what she did. This was back in 2017, her conviction. Well, recently she's resurfaced, because she had attempted to appeal the conviction, claiming that she was wrongly convicted, with her lawyer claiming that the judge had failed to warn jurors about the, quotes, myths about fake claims. I'm not entirely sure how it's a myth when it was proven these were myths. She claimed to have been assaulted by a group of people in an alleyway, but didn't have so much as a scratch on her. Hell, she was seen on camera harming herself, and then claiming that she had been harmed by a group of guys who took it in turns to abuse her. She had a reputation on the council estate she lived on for being a girl that cried wolf. Oh, and obviously being a liar in the sense that she claimed she was a lesbian, but she had boyfriend. I could make the obvious joke about what kind of straight man would knowingly want to sleep with her. The answer, none. I know, best joke ever. Now this appeal went back to the court, or the appeal court to be more specific, who have actually backed the 10-year jail term, and they have summarily thrown out the claims that she was wrongly convicted. One of the other charges she was also given was perjury, because she made 15 fake sex attack claims. When a man serves 2 years for something he didn't do, yeah, you deserve to serve time for that. Because you did it to more than one person, Gemma, you were sent back for longer. You are, to this day, protesting your innocence, which you are. You show no remorse for what you did, which tells me 10 years is ample time, or now 8 of the remaining years. Ample time for you to learn. See, normally people would get out early when they show guilt, remorse, and reform. But because you haven't yet shown any sign, it is unlikely you will get out before your term is up. You're 27 now and you will be 35 when you finally get released, if you don't go and do something stupid in prison. The lawyer's only card was the myths and stereotypes around false rape cases. That does nothing to change the minds when the evidence says you did lie. Oh, and there was a second ace in the hole, as it were. It was that because she was abused as a child, she should be given a shorter sentence. I hear this used a lot. Someone was abused as a child sexually, so they become a sex offender. I know this is quite oddly prevalent, but it doesn't mean you should get a lesser sentence. No, you get the sentence you are due for the crime you commit. I will admit, yes, and a contradiction it is, that mitigating factors should play a part. But tell me, when you were being abused as a kid, and now as an adult, what made you think, no one listened to me then, so I want to do that to all the guys that abused me as a kid? There's no reasonable way of thinking about it other than to make you look like a victim. Are you that desperate for the attention now that you can't get the psychological help you would need to come to terms with what happened to you as a child, so that you then did not do to other men, innocent men no less, what happened to you? The key difference being now, though, because you were caught out, because the evidence was overwhelming, against you that is, you were sent down. That is the justice system and how it should work. If you were abused as a child, and there was no one to help you, then I do hope those that abused you as a child are in prison now. I really do. But that does not give you the right to do it to other people, and think that is acceptable. And the fact also that he's asked for a shorter sentence because you were abused as a child, as a way of validating what you did, says to me and virtually anyone watching this video that you are admitting guilt, and you are not showing any inclination towards accepting responsibility for what you have done, which is why your sentence is 10 years and why you are going to be there for a while. Lady Justice Hollett said in this appeal, this case went further than myths and stereotypes about a complainant's behaviour. The appellant was accused of being a serial liar who fabricated accounts mostly of a sexual nature. In the light of the evidence called, even if the guidance was given, it would not have assisted the appellant. The system of justice has suffered considerable harm. Considerable resources have been spent investigating and prosecuting crimes which never happened. There has been no indication of remorse on the appellant's part. It's important to note, a man served 2 years in prison for this. Just how good was the evidence then to get him sent down? Was it consensual sex and you revoked it? Because I don't remember that being in the original articles I covered, but it had been on my mind for a while. I do vaguely recall that there was a text message that undid the damage done to the person you sent down for 2 years. The text message you sent to your girlfriend said that you were glorying in his discomfort, as you would do to give false evidence against the man. I think his name was Mr. Kasim. Quite frankly, you belong in prison until your time is done, because you are not showing any indication that you are willing to learn, reform, and make amends for what you've done. So, moving on from that, I want to talk about somebody else. A man called Gary Harrington Walsh. This man should be in prison. There are some new laws in this country. These new laws make it so certain types of things you do when broken up with don't happen. It is more commonly known as revenge porn. It exists to protect those who have had videos done at home, or photos, of course, sent between two people or other peoples that are private between them. When you break up with someone, you don't have the right to take those pictures and plaster them all over the internet. Nor should you take homemade videos and plaster them all over the internet, because of how badly you have handled a relationship breakup. That is an intimate thing shared between two people, maybe more if the relationship is like that. Well, Mr. Gary Harrington Walsh uploaded a video of his ex-girlfriend, of them both having sex no less, to Pornhub. It was viewed over 1,000 times, and he also sent naked photos that she had sent to him to her school, which happens to be in an area of the Middle East where pornography is illegal. He really took the breakup well, I must say. It's not like he is trying to literally sabotage her life. Now, they met when, on a school trip, he was the coach driver. Now, after they broke up because she'd moved abroad to work, he then went on a stalking campaign where he changed his phone numbers to keep calling her, blocked him on all social media, which he then got around by creating profiles to pester her. She cut off all communication because of the breakup, and he then sent the pictures to the school and uploaded the video to Pornhub. She almost lost her job when the head teacher found the explicit pictures, signed by a, quote, concerned citizen. She was suspended, but then reinstated because what had happened was, and they deemed it to be, malicious. Well, this all went to court, and this is quite sad, really, because these new revenge porn laws should put him in prison for what he did. They should. But the judge took pity on him and said that he took the end of the relationship very badly, as if that is in any way a justification for what he did. And I say this because he was given 8 months in prison, suspended for 2 years, a 10-year restraining order as well. The restraining order is a given, to be honest, but the suspended sentence is a joke. The 10-day rehab course, 150 hours of unpaid work? No. I would unsuspend that prison sentence and stick him in there. I really would. Have him complete the rehab programs while he's there. Anyway, I hope everyone has a lovely Friday, and if you don't see you later on this evening over on the Cthulhu-Kin Friend Show, a lovely weekend too. And thank you all for listening.